Hello, hello, and welcome. Today I have a fun bookshelf tour video. It's really just sharing the one bookshelf I currently have in my place. If you haven't caught up, a few videos back I shared I recently moved and had to put all my books into storage. So unfortunately that meant I could only bring really the books I wanted to have with me, and mainly that's like books I have yet to read, or there were books I just wanted for having around, but it's not that much. However, it does leave room for me to add a little bit more to my collection here, and I also have some other shelves in my room that I think I could fill with books if I needed to. But for the time being, I have plenty that I still need to read. So I look forward to sharing with you my little bookshelf and all my items displayed, as well as the books and items I have in the shelves. So we can go ahead and get started. Alright, first off, we have this top of the bookshelf. So this really encompasses what I call my little altar. A lot of spiritual or religious ideologies often have what you might see called as an altar. And I just want to preface that I am not religious. I do think I'm a spiritual person, and yeah, that is just who I am. And I have this altar here, which is really just like a dedicated place for my favorite crystals, some candles, and other things which I can go through. So just a preface that this isn't trying to, I'm not trying to make you have an altar if you don't want one. Everyone can do their own thing, you know what I mean? And I feel like altars are really just like places for your favorite things a lot of the time. So anyways, it's all good, all respectful. So let me just share kind of from this side to this side. So I'll take this first. So this first item is my singing bowl, and I got this at a local market near me, and it was pretty affordable because these are quite expensive. I would love to have more, but we will have to wait and see. But it is just a lovely singing bowl, and I have it sitting on this little donut cushion. And when you make the singing bowl sing, I'm not sure how loud it will be, but you just sort of swivel it around, and you do need to have it sitting on your palm like that, or it won't really sound right. So that is my little singing bowl, and I love it so much. Okay. And then over here I just have like a pothos plant that I love plants, I love greenery, and having it in my room with like jars of water really brings me groundedness and earth energy. I have a lot of fire in my birth chart. I'm a Sagittarius, And I'm also a Leo moon and a Libra rising. So there's a lot of fire, there's a lot of air, and having some earth elements has always felt nice to have. So anyway, next we have this little bell. It's this beautiful butterfly, and it's from Costa Rica. It reminds me of my grandmother, who collected bells a lot on her travels. So I got this bell when I went to Costa Rica. I'm also half Costa Rican, so I did go a few months back and was able to get this beautiful bell that reminded me of my grandmother and also is from my mother's homeland, so that felt very special. So, love this bell, and bells are also help clear energy typically, so you can use the sound of a bell to clear up energy, which is nice. So that's why I have it here. Next, I just have 2 long candlesticks. I'm going to show you. I can kind of show you, they're right there. They're just very tall. And I don't really light flames in my room because I just feel like, I don't know, I'd have to like watch it very carefully. It's really purely for the aesthetic. As far as like the long candlesticks go, but I do have like regular candles, and this one I've shared before. I've already burned it a little bit. Okay, so this is called the door opener candle. Try to show it. And it's a hand poured candle from San Diego. It was a woman at a local market who handmade these really pretty candles, and even had charms and crystals, but it melted into the wax. So it smells really fresh and clean. It says it's infused with moonstone, labradorite. Am I saying that correctly? Aura quartz and magic sprinkles. It is focused on protection. It's Reiki charged, soy, lotion, intention candle. So it just really attracted me when I saw it, and I do feel like it's truly, I don't know, just like a nice thing to have, clearing up that energy, opening up new possibilities. And I definitely need that in my life, or I feel like that's very in tune with my life right now, just really embracing so much positivity and possibilities. So anyway, these 2 jars here are some spell jars. Yes, I have done some spell jars, and you are welcome to look that up and research more. I just don't think I'd have the ability to really get into it for this video. But basically, spells, if you can imagine, or any ritual, you have ingredients, you have intention, and I really like the intention part. For me, it's really just like manifestation, protection, almost like a prayer, but in a physical form often. So yeah, I really love that. And again, I kind of do it in my own kind of way. There are many people out there with different approaches, and again, researching it, you can find a ton of information and people who have a lot to offer their own information or teaching on it. So yeah. Then we have little bottles here. These are crystals I got from the Renaissance Fair. I went this past weekend, and they have this stall where they sell really small crystals and items like this for like $1 a piece. And these are blue topaz and moonstone, and they're just so cute. And I could obviously use them, you know, for spells or like other little trinkets, but I do love just the way they look and displayed here. Alright, next we have like a little candle I collected that I just like having here. And then I have all these crystals from various different places. We have, I think this is like a citrine. This blue one, very beautiful. This one's like a spirit aura quartz, I think. Love it. Yeah, I've got these from local fairs, Renaissance Fair, markets, the OC Fair, or the fair during the summer. These little shells also are from the Renaissance Fair. So we have this little shell, very pretty, very mermaid-like. This is like a fluoride quartz, I think. We have other pretty crystals. This is one of my favorites. It's so beautiful. Just stunning. Yeah, so I've gotten many of these from different places. Even this shell right here. I have like a little dish with shells on another shelf, but this one I really liked to have here. This little doily is, I think, from Amazon, if I can find the link. But you can also go to like a thrift store and maybe in their fabric sections they'll have doilies you can check out. Over here we have another candle. We have this really pretty like pink dyed quartz. I don't think this is its natural color. I think they did dye it, but it's very pretty. A little old dried flower from a friend that once gifted me something with that on it. This is juniper. It's like a pine tree. So it's similar to sage where you can burn it. And I just have it in this old concrete candle holder, or candle holder. I used to have a candle in there. And this is some burned cinnamon. I really like burning cinnamon for energy clearing and protection and abundance. It's also just smells really comforting. I love burning cinnamon sticks for sure. This is a recent addition to the shelf. It's actually made by me, my first pottery class ever, clay pottery, and we made little dishes, or I tried to make a mug, but this is so shallow. I have to make it a little dish, and it just holds some bobby pins right now. And she's so pretty. I love it so much. It's, even though it didn't quite turn out the way I thought it would, it's still beautiful and useful and handmade by me, and I can't wait to take more classes this summer. I have even thought of maybe doing a course where you pay and go weekly to have lessons, and then you get to like make pieces each week or over the course of the pottery course. So I'm really thinking about doing that later this year. I just have to shout out this lamp. It's actually my grandmother's, and it's just definitely a lovely reminder of her and when it used to be in her home, which I spent a lot of time at because she lived close by to us growing up. So it's just a lovely reminder she is with me. And yeah, I think it's fitting. It's on the altar here. So next, let's get through the bookshelf and my different books. Alright, so I really hope this sounds good because I'm like kneeling on the ground right now. So I'll just go through the top shelf. So on the left-hand side here, I have all my oracle decks and tarot decks. So this first one is the Starseed Oracle, and it's very like unique. It's very unique in packaging, so you can kind of display that nicely. I really like this one. The cards are just really, I don't know, like a fun design. Really beautiful designs, and yeah, just like really nice. And yeah, I really enjoy it. So that is my first oracle deck. I have one also by the same brand is the Work Your Light Oracle cards. So this is what it looks like. So, love those. Move those over for a minute. We have my first tarot deck I love the design. It's called the Fountain Tarot. And it's just such a beautiful deck. Comes with the guidebook, of course. And just like really geometric. Queen of Swords. I always relate to the Queen of Swords, so love that. Oh, let's put that back. So, that is the Fountain Tarot. Next, I have some meditation affirmation cards. I got this from like a little meditation booklet thing I got. And I actually do really like them. They're not too bad. Let's see if we pull one for today. May my words today overflow with love. I love that. We all just need a little bit more love, you know? Right, so that is the meditation cards. I have this like original tarot deck. And just has like those designs. And I have one of my favorite decks I've been using more, the Green Witch's Oracle deck. And I think I have a video where I share like an actual reading from this, but it's just so pretty. And yeah, the cards are just divine. Love it. Yeah, I love the artwork. Okay. We also have this Moonology Oracle cards deck. Also love. It's more about like the moon phases, like so. This is full moon eclipse. conclusions are within reach. Love to see it. Okay, so those are my decks. Not too many, but I feel like they are plenty for me right now. I'm not necessarily looking to add more unless something really stands out to me from like an Oracle deck format. Actually, I will correct myself. There is one Oracle deck I have on my wish list that one day I will get around to buying. But yeah, so far I'm good with what I have. Alright, let's get into the books because I know a lot of you love that. And some of them might look familiar. The first one is Circe? I'm not sure. This is by Madeline Miller, and she also wrote the Song of Achilles, which I've yet to read, but I really wanted to read this one first for some reason. I heard it was really good, and so I'm really looking forward to reading this at some point. I will say reading has been a little hard. My attention span hasn't been the best these days. I've just had to do so much other mental labor that reading is a little bit more difficult. Even like watching TV has been difficult. So I know I love to do like reading catch-up videos, but truly it's just been a little slower this year for me, and I just have to kind of embrace that right now. And I know one day I'll get back to a better reading schedule. But in the meantime, I look forward to reading this. It says it's about Circe or Circe. I apologize, I don't really know the pronunciation. It says Circe is a strange child, not powerful like her father, nor viciously alluring like her mother. Turning to the world of mortals for companionship, she discovers that she does possess power, the power of witchcraft, which can transform rivals into monsters and menace the gods themselves. Threatened, Zeus banishes Circe to a deserted island where she hones her occult craft and crosses paths with many of the most famous figures in all of mythology, including the Minotaur, Daedalus, and his doomed son Icarus, the murderous Medea, and of course, wily Odysseus. But there is danger too for a woman who stands alone, and Circe unwittingly draws the wrath of both men and gods, ultimately finding herself pitted against one of the most terrifying and vengeful of the Olympians. To protect what she holds dear, Circe must summon her strength and choose, once and for all, whether she belongs with the gods she is born from or the mortals she's come to love. So, sounds riveting. Next, we have Severance by Ling Ma. This has been a top book for a lot of people. It says notable book from New York Times. So I also look forward to reading this. It's about office politics during a apocalypse or dystopian era. Some people have likened it to like COVID. So I'm really interested in reading this. Not to mistake it with Severance, the TV show, which has the same name, but it's different. This was actually written before the TV show was created. Very similar subject matter, though, which is interesting. I don't have these in any particular reading order, but I do think I'd like to try and get through this one maybe in the near future. It's The Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Laurie Kilmore. It's like a rom-com spicy book, a small town spicy romance, and it's part of the other like small town books by the author. So the first one is the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and kind of goes through each season and different couples in a small town. So I do recommend reading in chronologically published order, but that's really because it introduces characters from other books. So unless you want certain spoilers, it's probably better to read chronologically. But yeah, I would love to get to reading I would love to read this soon. I think strawberry season is technically here almost, so this would be a great book to get through, and I feel like pretty easy. And I have truly had this book for so many years and I still haven't read it. I know. Put me in jail, throw away the key, I get it. Honestly, I think I just don't read books because I don't want to read them and have them be done with. But I also probably blame my lack of reading speed. So I do still need to read this. Book lovers, hopefully this year I can get to it. But this is by Emily Henry, and of course it's about, I think, a writer and an editor, and they're like, it's like a meet cute, a little bit of spice, I think. But yeah, I've heard it's really good, so definitely want to read this. Next we have This Summer Will Be Different. I do think I read like the prologue and then I stopped reading it. I just at the time wasn't getting into it as quickly and was reading something else, I think, at the time, so I stopped, but I do want to try and read it this summer. Again, I just feel like it'd be an easy read. But basically it's about a girl who visits a beach house and accidentally hooks up with her best friend's younger brother, and there's all of that dynamic. So sounds like a fun summer read, if I say so. I would love to get through this one. I think it's because I keep reading big fantasies, so I never get to the smaller stuff sometimes, or the shorter books, even though they're probably quicker to get through. Okay. Next up we have The Housemaid's Secret, and this is by Frida McFadden. It's book 2 from The Housemaid, and I still haven't read it. I actually still haven't watched the movie yet, but I did like the first book. I do like an occasional thriller here and there. Again, it's just not a big top genre for me. Typically romance or even just general fiction can tend to attract me more. So thriller, maybe I'll get back into it this year. We'll see. This book is Calling for a Blanket Dance. This book I got at a local mountain town I went to. It's by Oscar Hokea. And yeah, it was a little bookstore. This is about a Mexican Native American family and just the importance of family, their move across Oklahoma. It's called An Honest, Heartbreaking, and Ultimately Uplifting Story about the man in the book Ever finding his way home. So yeah, I think this sounds like a really lovely, interesting story, and I just feel like it's also short, so I'm really looking forward to reading this as well. I truly took all the books I really haven't read yet because I just thought if I'm going to bring any books, they might as well be ones I've yet to read. So this book is A Daughter Forged in Fire. It's Chronicles of the Tuatha, I think, by Jessica Lee. And I got this at a local romance bookstore. And yeah, it's kind of like a fantasy, futuristic book, I want to say. But, yeah, I have yet to read it. We'll see if I can get to it, but I did find it interesting based on just the description. I've showed this book a few times already, so I apologize. I probably won't describe it again, but it is like Celtic and Scottish mythology, with Burn the World for her vibes, epic world building, and an original magic system. So yeah, definitely up my alley. Next we have The House in the Cerulean Sea. I've shared this one as well a few times. It's kind of like a cozy fantasy where a man is like a social worker for like magical youth and visits a orphanage on a distant island with magical children. There's a little bit of romance, and it sounds whimsical and fun, and I feel like it's perfect for this year for me. But yeah, hopefully I can get to it and read it finally. Okay. Next we have The Cruel Prince. This is by Holly Black. It's pretty, I would say, popular or known book. I actually started reading this ages ago, and I just didn't finish it. I think I had to return it to the library. But I do want to read it. I feel like a lot of people have enjoyed the series. Maybe I won't, I don't know, but I will say I'm not having this at the top of my list as far as books, so we'll see if I get to it this year. And this is like I would say this is like a young adult fantasy. I don't think it's young. Or maybe new adult fantasy. It might be in that realm, but I think they're teenagers, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. Next we have Beautiful Things. Beautiful edges here. And this is like a Bridgerton vibe book, if you will. Like Victorian era Regency romance. There you go. And yeah, just sounds like a fun, spicy time. And yeah, would love to read this for sure. I would love to read everything. Do I have the time and mental capacity is another story. Next two books are what I call the young adult version of Outlander. It's called Dune, and this is book 3 and book 4. I have yet to read these because I read book 1 and 2, and I wasn't really loving the main plot that much, but I did like the characters, I don't know, in like a weird way. I don't know, I will see if I finish them. I did buy them because I did like the first book, but then once I was reading the second book, I was like, oh, there's a little bit of a, I don't know. I'm just like not totally clicking with the main plot. However, the romance is enjoyable. So, I don't know, for young adults, if you will, YA. So that's the top shelf. Let's move on to the second shelf. Next up we have this sort of larger bookshelf, so I have bigger books here. So this is A Curse Carved in Bone, and it's the book 2 from I think A Fate Inked in Blood. And I still haven't fully read it. I got through like chapter 3 and I just haven't been able to finish it. I started it, I think, back in January, and then my life really changed. So I had to pause, unfortunately. But I do want to get back to this, especially since I've already read the first 2 chapters. So yeah, we will get back to her as soon as possible. But also, we'll see. This is Sarah J. Maas, House of Flame and Shadow. I know, I still haven't read it. Again, it's just like a timing thing. I do plan to finish it this year. It's a behemoth, obviously, and I do love Crescent City series a lot. Big fan of the urban fantasy vibes going on. And so obviously I'm not going to spoil by reading the description, but I really love the Crescent City series. It is just like big books. So we will find a way to read this one this year. This is a recent addition. It's Kiss of the Basilisk. I've had so many people recommend this book in the spicy book realm. It's kind of big for some reason. This version is like big physically. I don't feel like it's lengthy. I mean, it's about under 500 pages, which is really short these days. But this is the first book, so it says, Tem couldn't imagine a stranger duo, the formidable basilisk and the human prince, both powerful in their own right, but they couldn't be more different from each other. 20-year-old Temperance Varys has never been kissed, but that's what the basilisk is for. Along with 13 other contestants, Tem must train with the basilisk to learn the power of seduction and win the prince's hand in marriage. When Tem is matched with Caspian, the Serpent King, she realizes she might actually stand a chance. But with tensions rising between the basilisks and the humans, Tem is suddenly torn in 2 different directions. As her bond with Caspian deepens, so does her connection with the prince. When she uncovers a terrible secret about the royal family, Tem finds herself caught between 2 worlds, neither of which she can survive without. Very interesting. Excited for that. Okay. Right here we have Midnight Sun. This is Twilight written from Edward's perspective, and I bought this ages ago because I own all the Twilight books and I couldn't not own this. I just haven't read it yet, and I know that's just, there's no excuse. But I'm thinking this might be like a good Halloween time book if I can get around to it this year. But I love Twilight. Twilight is the first book in the series that I can typically reread a lot more. And I have reread it a few times. It's like a comfort read. Midnight Sun, I feel like could be that for me in a just different form. So we will see if I can get to Edward's perspective. Yeah. So. And here we have Rain and Ruin. I've also shared this book a few times. I really want to get to reading this, and I've been trying to recommend it in my book clubs, but it just never gets chosen, unfortunately. That's like my secret strategy, is to recommend books I like and want to read in my book clubs that I'm a part of. Kills 2 birds with 1 stone. But I don't always win those battles, unfortunately. So, it's okay though. Up here, I have some books I'm currently reading. So we have Women Who Run with the Wolves. I am taking this slowly. I'm not rushing through it because it's such like a dense, well, it's not dense, it's more just more heady. It's Myth and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype. And my goal is to read 1 chapter a month for the year because there are, let me see, there's about 16 chapters. So like one chapter a month or a few chapters a month, depending on the length. But I'm taking it slowly because I really like to soak in the content. So not really rushing it, but absolutely have loved it so far. It's just been on point. And I've already been annotating and loving it so far. My current book read is Carrie Soto is Back. I started this back in February, paused to read a big fantasy, When the Moon Hatch. I think that's what it's called. I accidentally put it in, well, I read it, so I put it in storage, but I'm getting book 2 next month, so I'm going to read book 2 for that. But in the meantime, I'm reading Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid, one of my favorite authors, who wrote The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And so far, I'm getting through it. It's like really easy to read. I feel like I could even finish it this week. So that's kind of a little mini goal. And it's about a tennis player who comes back from retirement in her 30s in the 90s. So she's like this renowned tennis player who is technically retired. She's kind of grown older, and when you're older as an athlete, that, you know, can do a lot on the body, and just it's all about her coming back to the tennis scene and trying to reach a new milestone. And I feel like it talks a lot about women and being a strong woman, and how like that can often be harder versus if she was like a man. The things she would be facing wouldn't be as challenging or hindering. But yeah, I haven't fully read it yet, so we'll see how it goes. And I'm really excited because this next month's book for one of the book clubs I'm in, we're reading The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. And I've been wanting to read this book for a minute, so I'm really excited. Let's see, it says, Sybil Delling has spent 9 years dreaming of having no dreams at all, like the other foundling girls who traded a decade of service for a home in the great cathedral. Sybil is a diviner. In her dreams, she receives visions from 6 unearthly figures known as the Omens. From them, she can predict terrible things before they occur, and lords and common folk alike travel across the Stonewater Kingdom's windswept moors and craggy mountains to learn their futures by her dreams. Just as she and her sister diviners near the end of their service, a mysterious knight arrives at the cathedral. Rude, heretical, and devilishly handsome, the knight Roderick has no respect for Sybil's visions. But when Sybil's fellow diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but to seek his help in finding them. For the world outside the cathedral's cloister is wrought with peril. Only the gods have the answers she is seeking, and as much as she'd rather avoid Roderick's dark eyes and sharp tongue, only a heretic can defeat a god. So, that is The Night and the Moth, and I believe book 2 is coming out this year. I've also pre-ordered it before I think I've read the first book, so I'm already excited to read it. Now, these next books are not books I plan on reading per se, but I didn't want to store them because I just wanted to have them around for comfort. I've had them for a while. This book, The Greater Journey, Walking Paris, Paris to the Past, Day Trips France, and 1,000 Places to See Before You Die, are all kind of like travel-esque books. And I thought about maybe using them for a video or two. I do really want to go to Paris maybe next year. Fingers crossed. We'll see how much savings I have left. I do have to like buy a new car at some point, and so much other stuff. So I don't know if I'll be able to go, but my hope and wish is that I can go to Paris in the next couple years for like my birthday. I wouldn't even mind going solo or with like a group tour. And yeah, I just really want to go back to Paris, and these books just kind of remind me of that goal. And yeah, so that's what they're there for. Okay. Last but not least, we have these books down here and some other random stuff. So mainly I have like these writing books, like the Emotion Thesaurus, and we have the Positive Trait Thesaurus and Negative Trait Thesaurus. So these are like writing reference books. So you also have your first novel, the Writer's Idea Thesaurus. One of my favorite books that helped me actually achieve writing my first novel, unpublished, but I did write a full-length novel. Save the Cat Writes a Novel. It kind of goes through how you can structure based on the Save the Cat method. This was such a big help, and I didn't want to part with these reference books because I still want to write. And unfortunately, it's just something, I don't know, sometimes I just feel like that has always just been a constant goal for me. So it's really not even a goal anymore. It's just a part of my genetic makeup, and it just looks different. It just looks different every year. And I feel like the last few years have just been a little bit of a struggle due to like depression and just other things going on in my life, other events. And you would think now like I'm in a place where I'm very much in a transition and I'm like really happy and enjoying my life, but for some reason writing and my attention span is just shot. Like I almost feel like a toddler, like I'm experiencing life for the first time, and I'm trying to do so many different things. And I guess like right now there's other hobbies and other interests that I'm diving into that are taking up my time. I'm still writing. It's just mostly poetry right now. If you're curious or wish to follow me, I do have a Substack that I will link. There's not much on there, but I'm trying to post like every now and then. Nothing crazy. And I feel like that's doable for me right now until I can get back to my bigger projects, which I still love and want to get back to, but things change, and unfortunately, but also fortunately, I feel like I'm savoring and enjoying a lot of different things in life that help me become a better writer, so I kind of embrace it right now. But I didn't want to part with my reference books in case I like had the urge again to return to it, and I didn't want them to be in storage. So yeah. I also brought The Secret Language of Astrology. Some of these books I thought maybe could be for good, like ASMR videos. So, like 21 Ways to Read a Tarot Card is a good reference book. We have another little tarot card book, just like extra info that I like to have. I have this Chakras in the Vagus Nerve, which I've enjoyed coming to here and there. I have this book, The Body Keeps the Score, Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma. This was kind of hard to get into because it really does sort of jump right into it, and I feel like depending on your mental health, this could be a helpful book or just kind of not be helpful. But I didn't want to part with it unless I thought it would be like a good book to, I don't know, when I'm in a good headspace, return to. So I did keep it just in case. Okay. This next book is A Promised Land by Barack Obama. I read Michelle Obama's book a long time ago and I really enjoyed it. It's kind of just like her, I don't know, like biography or memoir. And I think this is also like another memoir by Barack Obama. I just feel like the way Michelle Obama's book was written, I really enjoyed it and was really captivated by her story and just background. And so I figure Barack Obama, he's also a writer, and I think that I would enjoy this a lot. I just genuinely, it's a lot. It's a thick book. So I will say I've not been into a biography for a minute, but I'm curious to read this. I don't really know how I'm going to feel about it, but I'm, again, interested in a variety of genres. So depending on how I'm feeling, I'll pick it up. But right now it's obviously a little bit lower on the list here. I have randomly the Pumpkin Spice Cafe book. I lent this to a friend, but I already read this book, so I won't plan on rereading it. But yeah, a friend of mine gave it back to me recently, so I just have it here with me. Okay. Then we also have Homebody. This is a poetry book. I don't know why, I just kind of felt like I wanted to bring a poetry book with me. And this is by Ruby Kaur. It's one of her poem books. And I don't remember this one very well, so I figured I could pick it up and take a gander at it here and there when I'm into it. Okay. Then I have these like meditation coloring books. Like I have some markers and I don't know, it's been kind of fun. If I feel like I don't really know what to do or try to focus on watching TV and have an activity, I'll pull these out. They're just like little mindfulness cards or coloring books with little quotes. So, yeah. And then back here are my video games. So I don't know that I'm gonna have time for all of that, but I have Animal Crossing, Story of Seasons, Stardew Valley, Hogwarts Legacy, and Paper Mario the Origami King. And yeah, so I love my farming games, apparently. Okay. So that actually concludes everything on my bookshelf. Yeah, it's not that much, but there's a little bit of room to grow, but not by that much because where I'm at, I can't really grow my book collection too much without it becoming maybe a problem. But I will say that I love what I brought and I am excited to read the books I've yet to read, and hopefully I'll stop buying books, but I am making no promises. I apologize in advance. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this bookshelf collection tour from my new place. And yeah, I really hope it was interesting or calming or relaxing in some way. And yeah, I would love to know if there's a book you're really looking forward to reading soon or this year. And yeah, I thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a wonderful night or day, wherever you are, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Alright, thanks so much.